Hello everyone, Corpse here, bringing you another video tutorial. Today's video tutorial is on how to theme the quote and the BB inputs of your forums to match your theme. In this video, I am going to go over how to modify your style.css file to make areas of your forums to better match your themes and make things easier to read. Just note, not all themes are going to be the same, so don't freak out if you can't find a specific code. First thing you're going to want to do is make a backup of your theme's style.css. You're normally going to find that opening up your FTP. So you go to the root of your site, which as you can see here, I'm using my local, so it's just in a normal folder structure. But you go into your themes and then you open up your theme and you should have a folder called style. Open up that, and inside there you'll have a style.css. So you want to open up that. This right here, I'm using Visual Studio Code. This is a free code editor, and this is my #1 recommend for using any type of editor. And I also give a list of all the plugins in the link below. If you look at the link below, I go over the pros and cons of the different programs, but I also give a list of my favorite programs or plugins that, like right here, that I'm using with this system. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up, and it should look something like this in your code editor. So what we're going to do is hit Control F, that is the shortcut, keyboard shortcut for Windows, to find something. So once we hit that, what we're going to do is look for period quote. And I can see I have 2 of them. So let me go to the first one. This is 1 of 2. And as you can see, first thing, normally this is going to be like this for you. I'm disabling the background here. And I want to have the color of my font to better match my theme. So I'm going to go with almost white, but not pure white. So let's see. Maybe hashtag DF. So this is very close to pure white, but it's a little bit darker, maybe closer to like snow. And that is going to change the font right here where it says there's nothing here. I want to change that. So if I hit Control S, which is the keyboard shortcut for save, and I go back to here, hit Control F5, I can see that my font has changed. But I don't like how it's that small either. So right here it's 11. I'm going to bump this up to 12. So we got that set at 12 pixels, and that's pretty much it for me. I just wanted to change that color. Next thing what we're going to want to do is go to number 2 of quote, which is going to be .quote-by. And that's essentially right here where you see the dash corpse wrote. So I want to change that. So I'm going to change the color from this bronze, since my site is usually mostly green, but with this theme, blue is the thing. Blue is the color, so I'm going to open up code, come up here, let's select like a nice blue. Let's make it a little bit brighter. There we go. I like that. So I hit Control S for save, and I'm going to refresh. That blue looks good. Now this white. What to do about this white? I understand the purpose of it. It's trying to make it look like a piece of paper, but unfortunately, since I'm using a dark theme, the center is naturally grayed out. Also, I'm not a big fan of it. So, to fix that, luckily I don't have to do much of a search, but for you, you would do a search for notepaper. And what I'm going to do is cancel out this whole thing of notepaper. So what I did was I wrapped it with a / asterisk and then an asterisk / and basically, as you can see, it grayed out. That means it's no longer going to be red. So if I save this, come over here and hit Control F, as you can see, no more white, looks good. Now let's say I want to colorize these quote marks. So we're going to have to go back to the quote by. Not the quote by. Curly quotes before, right here. So you want to go to the curly dash quotes, colon before, comma, dot, curly quotes, colon, afterward, after. And what we're going to do is I'm going to add color, colon, and then let's give it a bluish color. So hashtag, what is it? Let's do 8C2FC. If you're wondering, I'm just copying what I have down there. Actually, let's go. That looks good right there. And now we're going to we have to also change the opacity over here. So we're going to change this from 0.2, let's put this at 0.8. Control S. Now refresh. If we didn't do the 0.8 and we left it at 0.2, you wouldn't see a change, really. Basically, the opacity is just making it somewhat transparent. You can remove the opacity if you want. It is not needed. You could also put it at 1 if you just want to leave that piece of code in. So that's pretty much how you change the quote area to match your theme. Now, in the title, I also mentioned about BBcode. What was I talking about? Well, if you click on, just say, add a Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube video, oh my god, it's bright, I'm blind. But also, like, if you type in here, as you can see, I'm typing, but you can't see it. Well, that's because, well, we need to theme this a little bit. So we're going to cancel this. I'm going to provide in the forum post where you're going to see this video, or if you're watching this video, I'm going to have a link in the description to the forum post that I'm going to make on Evo's site, that's going to have this following BB code that you can copy. So we're going to open up and scroll all the way to the bottom. Go to the very last line. I like to add 2 lines. One's blank, and then the next line we're going to paste. In here, as you can see, I already have it themed for my main website, but we're going to edit that. So anytime you see 00FF00, that is going to be lime green. So I'm going to change that to be this blue right here. So let's just Control V that. And of course you can go with whatever you want. I'm leaving, oops. Here, make it a little bit easier. Just do them all at one time there. So we hit Control S, and we come back, hit Control F5. Control F5 is refresh, but also clear cache. And then we're going to click on the same thing. And as you can see, it's easier. But now you're going to say, okay, well, that's a white background. That's very hard to see. What do I need to do to change that? And we're going to get right to that. So let's open up this. And we're going to need message box content input right there. And let's add in a background color. And we're going to use probably some sort of gray. Let's use a gray that I've recently used. We're going to use, I think that's good enough, 24, 24, 24. And then let's Control S this, which is going to save. So let's see if we get rid of that white. Hit Control F. No, it did not. Let's see, what did I do wrong? Oh, that's what I forgot. The reason why we're putting importance after everything is because all these colors are already defined with its own CSS file in that. But unfortunately, with that said, it's those colors, since they get called second, they're going to be the ones that are used. By putting important after it, we're basically telling the system that, no, use this. This is the one we want. So now if we hit Control F5 and click on that. So now that looks a lot better. One last thing I do want to point out is how to change the overlay. And that's going to be right here, the message box overlay. What I mean by that is if you click on this, you'll notice everything gets a little bit darker behind. You can actually style that to whatever you want. Here's the code right here. This is an RGBA. So if you're using a program like I'm using with the plugins, you can sit there and easily modify this. Let's make that a little bit lighter, like that. Let's make it a little bit more solid. And then we hit Control S, Control F. Yeah, that's a little too bright. Let's do 0.4. looks a lot better. Not as bright. Does go with the theme. I like it. But see, that's how you would theme it. And all the coding is going to be provided inside the forum post that can be used. And like I said, having something like this with like what I'm using right here with all the plugins, it makes it easier because you can see what colors are being used, where they're being used. So, and I mean, you can change the buttons and whatnot as well. As you can see how they're curved like that. I've already modified it in the CSS. Gave them a little bit of a rounded corner as well. And that was all right here. Gave it a border radius of 4 pixels. I think it was 0 by default. 0 or 1. So, yeah, I hope this helps a little bit. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to ask over on Evo Xtreme's website. So, yeah, take care and good luck.